Sahana vavatu Sahanau bhunaktu Sahaviryam karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Om Apyayantu mamangani vak pranashchakshusro tramato balamindriyani cha sarvani Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Mama Brahma Nirakarod Anirakaranamastva Nirakaranam Me Astu Tadatmani Nirateya Upanishatsu Dharma Ste Maye Santu Te Maye Santu Om Shanti 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 Keneshitam patati preshitam manaha Kena prana prathama praiti yuktaha Keneshitam vachamimam vadanti Chakshushrotram ka udevo yunakti Shrotrasya shrotram manaso mano yatvacho havacha gusa upranasya pranaha Chakshushaschakshuratimucya dhiraha Pretyasmaloka bhavanti Na tatra chakshurgacchati na va gacchati no manaha na vidmo na vijanimo yathaitadhanushishyat Anyadeva tatviditadatho aviditadadhi iti shushrum purvesham yenastadvyachachakshire Yadvachanabhyuditam yena vagabhyudhyate Tadeva brahmatvam vidhi nedam yadidamupasate Yanmanasana manute yena hurmano matam Tadeva brahmatvam vidhi nedam yadidamupasate Yachakshushan pashyati yena chakshungushi pashyati Tadeva brahmatvam vidhi nedam yadidam upasate Yachrotrena nashrunoti yena shrotramidagum shrutam Tadeva brahmatvam vidhi nedam yadidam upasate Yapranena na praniti yena prana praniyate Tadeva brahmatvam vidhi nedam yadidam upasate. Hari Om, Namaskaram to everyone. So here begins a new journey of a study into the Kenopanishad. Kena plus Upanishad means it's read out as Kenopanishad. A plus U in Sanskrit makes it O. Kena plus Upanishad makes it Keno Upanishad. Vedas are the primeval source of the wisdom which we tap from the Shastras. They are the primeval source. The Vedas, as you all know, are four, which has been compiled by the great sage Vyasa. He compiled the Vedas. The four Vedas are Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, and Atharvana Veda. The four Vedas. Each Veda has four chapters, as it were, four sections, as it were. The first are known as the mantras, the second, the brahmanas, the third, aranyaka, and the last are the Upanishads. I don't want to go into the detail of it. In fact, it's all there. You go into the net, you study the books, it's all explained. So there are four Vedas. Each Veda has four chapters, as it were. Now the end chapter, the end section of the Vedas contains the Upanishads. So Upanishads give out the quintessential philosophy which are contained in the Shastras. So the philosophical essence of the Vedas are the Upanishads. Therefore, the very word Vedanta, if you split the word Vedanta into two parts, there's one half is the Veda, other half is the Anta. So Veda Anta, Anta means the end. So Vedanta is giving out the end portion of the Vedas, the end section of the Vedas, which is the philosophical kernel which is contained in the Vedas or the Upanishads. So Vedanta is only talking about the Upanishadic truths, nothing other than that. And those Upanishadic truths which give out the subtle philosophy of Vedanta, they are known as Shrutis. Shruti is something which Shruti means something we hear, isn't it? So these textbooks, these Vedas, these Upanishads are known as the Shrutis. Shrutis are authoritative texts. Mostly they are authorless because you do not know who wrote them. We do not know. But we accept them as the authority, but we do not know when it started. We can't give a date to it. We can't attribute it because no guru had the arrogance of arrogating to himself. They just went about giving this knowledge. And through the Guru Shishya Parampara, it has just been preserved and carried on. So that is known as the Shrutis. Slightly different from the Shruti. You all know what is different from the Shruti? Jama? Can't hear you. No, we still can't hear you, Ma. Now you can speak.
I said Smriti, Guruji. Smriti.
Yeah. The opposite of Shruti is Smriti. And what is Smriti?
Smriti is to remember, memory-wise.
Smriti is literally a recollection, isn't it?
Yeah.
A Smriti is recollection. These are less authoritative. They are supposed to be the less angas, the different branches, the lesser portions of the very Vedas. There are various parts of Smritis. I can't go into the detail. It's only a matter of information. So the Smritis constitute the six Vedangas, the Itihasas, the Puranas, the Kavyas, the Bhashyas, the Sutras and the Stotras and the Nibandhas. Ushama, I suppose you are very familiar with all this, isn't it? Yes, Ushama. So, yes.
Yes, Guruji.
So I think she needs a little introduction. She's one of the senior most students of mine, and she is the big acharya amongst us. So we all have to, an Upanishadic giant amongst us. So
What
we all
an
have to,
introduction, Guruji.
yeah, right introduction, isn't it? How you have to be introduced rightly. Now I need to slightly make a difference because there's also Ushama, Usha Kaundinyama. So when I said Ushama, she thought I'm referring to you, Ushama, isn't it? So Ushama, see your senior. Huh? She's my senior also, very senior she is.
Arunama, senior to me.
Correct, Arunama also. But Arunama also is senior, but you are senior to her. You know, what gives the seniority to her is, I always said this, an Upanishadic master speaks very less, they don't speak at all. And I had a taste of that assurance that she is still the same authoritative Upanishadic master. Yesterday, I sent her over 14 messages. You got the messages, no?
Yeah.
Not even a word of acknowledgement. That's what she must have told to herself. That's all.
You could have seen the tick there. I've already seen it.
That's what the tick means.
That is already
yes,
a
it
symbol.
is assurance.
Yes,
That's
assurance.
what that is the Upanishadic level she is. They hardly speak. They don't talk at all. If at all, it will be TQ. Why? Yes, all alphabetical only they talk.
Only action, Guruji.
Yeah, very high level you all are. Very, very high level. Only action. So Smritis, Shama, the Smriti is different to Shruti. For example, Smritis are referred to that which we recall, which has been narrated. There is an author. You relate it to an author, a specific text, a specific source. For example, you can take the Ramayana, Mahabharata as Smritis. So there, as I've said, there are various aspects, the 6 Vedangas. Angas means parts. Again, they are divisions of the very Vedas, the Vedangas, which deal with grammar, meter, etymology, phonetics, astrology, rituals, etc. The Itihasa refers to the Mahabharata, Ramayana, as just mentioned. The Puranic stories, the Kavyas, these are all the Smritis. No, you don't have to worry of all this. Oh, I did not know all this. Haresh, I'm sure you have never heard of all this, isn't it?
Hariom Guruji, no, I haven't heard of any of this.
Yeah. So you don't have to be worried. Oh my God, there's so much I did not know. Don't worry. It's just a matter of information, but you may just get to know what the term is. And if you just tap the source of knowledge, which is our Google is our guru, you tap that, you will get all the information. They're just a matter of information you need to know. What is Shruti vis-a-vis a Smriti? All right. Now, what you need to understand is an Upanishad are of two types. One are explanatory texts, others are authoritative texts. Some are explanatory, some are authoritative. Now, this particular Upanishad, the Keno Upanishad, is an explanatory text, known as a Brahmana Upanishad. Brahmana Upanishad means they're explanatory because they dilute it to a certain extent. On the contrary, you have the Mantropanishad, which are an authoritative textbooks. For example, the Ishavasya Upanishad is an authoritative Upanishad. It is of the entire Upanishad is finished in 18 mantras. That's all. Comparatively, there are 34 mantras in this Upanishad, which is too long for an Upanishad, if you ask me. They are very, very subtle, very cryptic, very powerful, very potent mantras. Okay. Now, just for your information, there are 286 Upanishads. For your information, you can have, again, don't have to worry. 286 Upanishads. Out of the 286, 108 are orthodox. Because anybody who writes an Upanishad, they can, if a person is great and popular, if they write, it becomes an Upanishad. Like Rajneesh would have wrote an Upanishad, become Rajneesho Upanishad. Anyone amongst you are inspired to write an Upanishad, write an Upanishad after your name, you know. Seth Ramanji writes an Upanishad very soon. Seth Ramano Upanishad. Sir, I'm just giving you an idea, but don't have to implement it, sir. Chuma solra. So then it keeps adding into the 286, but it may not be orthodox. But out of the 108, 11 Upanishads are very, very important. The 11 are very important because these 11 Upanishads were commented by the three great acharyas. The three great acharyas are the Adi Shankaracharya, Madhvacharya, and Ramanujacharya. So these three great acharyas commented on these 11 Upanishads, and Keno Upanishad is one amongst them. We will hopefully embark on a study of 4 Upanishads, and all the 4 are actually of the 11. Now again, I don't want to go into the detail. What are the 11? You can do a little bit of exploratory study. Now, this Keno Upanishad appears in the 9th chapter of the Samaveda. I'm just giving you a general overview as to what text we are studying, where it comes from, its source. Now, typically, there is a difference between the shlokas. The shlokas in the Gita are all called as verses. Vis-a-vis, the shlokas in the Upanishads are called as mantras. Now, the basic difference is verses are always in poetry. Vis-a-vis, mantras could be in prose as well. So they could be in prose, they could be in poetry. Therefore, there's a subtle difference in the what we call them as either verses or mantras. Now, just a glimpse of an idea we need to have imagined what would be the caliber of a student of an Upanishadic caliber. The fundamental requirement of an Upanishadic student, what was the fundamental requirement? What do you think could have been the most fundamental requirement an Upanishadic student could have had? Curiosity. Padminima, let's say you have not heard, I do not know whether you've heard the Upanishad before. When you came to know, as others, you all wanted to join in. Considering that you have not heard an Upanishad, you joining these classes, doesn't it mean a curiosity for you to know what the Upanishad is? Isn't it? So you mean to say what you are approaching this text with a curiosity? You think an Upanishadic student would have approached a master in the Vedic guru also with a mere curiosity? I'm afraid we can't hear you, Ma. You're actually unmuted. You just perhaps just check if you're, I don't know, any settings that you're in. No, I'm afraid we can't hear you. No. Amitama.
Hari Om Guruji.
Yes, Ma.
Yeah, so the question is the prerequisite of a student.
No, I'm asking what could have been the caliber of the student of an Upanishadic level? What would be the foremost quality required, or foremost quality an Upanishadic student would have had? We're just trying to peep into the mental level of an Upanishadic student.
Emptiness, humility.
It's possible that some of you could be as humble as an Upanishadic student. Is it not possible?
Mm-hmm.
It's possible, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Then what do you think would differentiate? See, these are all preparatory grounds you get into even before you get into the text. Arunama? Gatima, are you doing the unmuting? Who is 1 minute? You can try now, Ma. Gatima, I can't hear you. I just want to have a little clarity as to who is doing it.
I'm not able to do it.
Oh, you're not able.
Hari Om Guruji.
Yeah.
No, the host has muted me also. Harishji, I know you're angry with me, but please don't mute me, Ji. Yes, Arunama.
I think what I feel it is a desire to discover the ultimate truth for himself.
Is it not possible that some of us would have had that, would have it now?
But I think that is his only focus, to discover, to become self-realized, to realize his own divinity. He's very much focused on that. Like, like for us, I think we are more distracted we don't consider it as the one and only goal in our life. I'm relating to myself. I don't think I've reached that level.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You have a point there. Anybody? Lakshmi Ma?
Shraddha, Guruji. Shraddha.
What is Shraddha?
The wanting to know the unknown with faith, complete surrender to the unknown, wanting to know, like the lark that sings, knowing it's going to be dawn soon. So it's that intense wanting to know and believing that there's something beyond what we know, like what Arunama said.
Okay. Anybody else? You're not wrong. Hariji?
As the word Upanishad goes, Upani and Shad, an implicit faith and unquestionable devotion to the Guru, and the master is not going to repeat. The Upanishad is very crisp and there is no repetition of the, so he must have the fundamentals of all Vedanta and absolute concentration. Every word that is coming out of the mouth of Guru is like a pearl that he is ready to receive. So there is no other thought. It is only that is a one-to-one relation between the Guru and when it is for the master as well as for the student. So if the student is not prepared to receive the entire wisdom, the pearl of wisdom that is coming out of the mouth of Guru, then he is not fit for Upanishad. It's a one-to-one relation.
Not wrong at all, sir. Absolutely not wrong. In fact, that one quality an Upanishadic student has is 100% detachment to the world. Totally detached. They had no value for whatever life had given them. They would have had everything. They are well settled, a lovely family, everything was going their way, but they had this bug in them of wanting to explore the truth. They wanted to have an answer. They realized the hollowness of worldly pursuits. Absolutely, they so grounded in that understanding that the hollowness and emptiness of the worldly pursuits, and they wanted to explore the truth, and they plunged into the woods with the hope of finding a guru. They did not have a guru knocking at the door. They plunged into the woods, left the family, everything behind, and went into the unknown with the hope of finding a man who could answer them. And after days and days and days of trekking, they would find some stranger sitting somewhere deep in the jungle. Perhaps he is sitting under a tree quietly by himself. They just went and he went and fell at the feet of that unknown man, accepted him as his guru. No evaluation going on. Do you know? Are you capable? Just go and fall at the feet, oh master. The fact that you're here, there's something in it in you that you are all by yourself. There's some certainty that you know what I'm seeking. And what is that certainty? As Lakshmi Ma is saying, there's a faith in it. And fall at the feet and start questioning. But as a typical master, Siddharaman sir, now here is this backdrop. A student leaves the woods, goes into the jungle, finds a man, surrenders to him, falls at his feet, seeks his advice, and asks the master to give knowledge. And what is the next thing the master does?
What does the
What does the master do, sir? Yes, sir.
master may evaluate him whether he is fit to receive the knowledge?
And how would he correct? Very right. It's not that the master is busy. He is doing nothing. There's nobody there. He's all by himself. And he's just sitting quietly. Somebody comes to him, an outright stranger. Obviously, the master has to know whether this person is worthy of receiving. And how would he test him?
Whether first whether he has surrendered to him and follows whatever he says, whatever
he is not said anything.
Humility in him.
How would he check any of that? What is it the teacher would have done? Now, this is all hearsay. I'm just trying to visualize, picturize. But you rightly said the master is finding out whether the student is an adhikari. A master would not want to waste a time to one who is not worthy of receiving.
His very body language will, and the words coming out of him will indicate to the master whether he is worthy of, whether he is a seeker. As you said, he should be a sannyasi. He has to be detached, and he should surrender and full of humility. And
very true. No, you actually said it in your own way. You're absolutely right. In fact, I'm reminded of Rajima. What is that? Are you there, Rajima? No, it's not seen. Of that documentary on the life of Swami Chinmayananda. And
Hari Om, Guruji.
Yes, ma. What is that? Yeah. What is that?
Guruji, just that you were talking about unto him. So Guruji, Swami Chinmayananda went to Swami Tapovan from Shivananda Ashram in Haridwar up in Uttarkashi. And Swami Tapovan sent him back. And those days they had to only walk. There were no roads or there were only paths. So he had to trek back, come to Haridwar to get some unnecessary letter, which was supposed to be given back to him. And that showed the seriousness of the student, how determined he was to receive the knowledge, this wisdom. And of course, Swami Chinmayananda did do it, though it was very, very unreasonable. It was beyond his reasoning. Why would he send him back all the way to just get a letter which meant nothing?
Correct. And which meant that he had to trek to the forests barefooted in that extreme temperature, trek back from Uttarkashi where Swami Tapovan Maharaj was, go back and come back again to Kashi to meet Swami Shivananda, who had recommended him. I think you go to him, he will give you the knowledge. He just put him to test. Anybody out there, if he's not the caliber of what Chimananji was, he said, why would I again go back 10 days trekking, again come back 10 days? just for the piece of paper. The Upanishadic masters were perhaps one step ahead. He would say, come back after 1 year. Come back after 6 months. Now, what would the student do? He wouldn't say, okay, this man is not willing to teach. Let me go and find another guru in the forest. No, no. He is my guru. There's no question of finding another person. There's no question of me going back and finishing some unfinished matters and come back. No, there's nothing that needs to be done. He just would be there at the feet of the Lord, at the master, serve him for that appointed time where the master was not going to teach him. Serve him whatever he needs. He would need water, he would wash his clothes, go to the river, get some, whatever he needed, water, food, whatever the guru needed, he would serve. And then by the time he felt the guru is ready to part, he would again ask that question. So this is the caliber of an Upanishadic student who is completely detached, who has no other purpose, no other interest except to gain that knowledge to realize yourself. The extreme contrary to that, the contrast to that rather, is the Gita we are studying. The Bhagavad Gita, as you know, is a conversation between two dear friends, between Lord Krishna and Arjuna, very dear friends, isn't it? The contrast to that is the Gita was, Harishji, the Bhagavad Gita. What is Bhagavad Gita? What prompted the Gita?
Did you ask me, Guruji? Okay.
Yes.
Desire to, or he had to uphold dharma, and in the middle of the battlefield. So that's why the Bhagavad Gita was given. To teach Arjuna, or to explain to Arjuna what he needed to do.
Yeah, but my question is, what was the backdrop of the Gita being given? It's an actual contrast to the Upanishadic student. The Upanishadic student left everything behind. Just if I ask you all, would you be able to drop the world you're in, your family, your belongings, your home, your investments, everything, just drop it and then just walk off into the woods?
Unlike the Upanishads, it was in the middle of the battlefield. So they were in the world.
He was in the world. It was, what prompted him?
The despondency of Arjuna, or the ignorance of Arjuna, or?
It was the sheer pressures. He collapsed. The Arjuna's despondence, the Vishada Yoga. You know, the first chapter is called Arjuna's Despondence. It means he lost clarity. He did not act. He buckled to situations and circumstances of life. Gita was given to a student who did not seek the knowledge. It was a counseling session by Lord Krishna. Bhagavad Gita is a personal counseling session. Only thing, the counseling went for 18 chapters. That's all. It is not that Arjuna was anywhere near the level of an Upanishadic student, isn't it? He did not have any desire to learn. It's just that he collapsed, and somebody whom he knew, in fact, Arjuna didn't even know the caliber of Krishna, isn't it? He didn't know. Krishna had to establish himself here, that I'm not a childhood friend. We played all fun and frolic, man. I'm a man of wisdom. This is my stature. And Arjuna only started understanding as the Lord started speaking. Here is a caliber of a man who I know not what his caliber is. And then Arjuna surrendered. The Upanishadic student went and surrendered to an unknown man. It was not situation demanded. He dropped everything and he plunged into the woods to seek the truth. Now I ask you all, where are you all? On one side, you had Arjuna, who was despondent, who buckled in his life, who suffered the consequences of what life put through him. And here is an Upanishadic student. We are all somewhere in between Arjuna and an Upanishadic student. I will not ask Ushama this question. Because I know I already said Vishama is at Upanishadic level. But you got to find out where you are in between Arjuna or an Upanishad student. Now, just to further differentiate, the Bhagavad Gita gives the path to the truth. The Upanishads merely declare the truth. They don't give the path. They just mention it. They declare it. It is for you to go and figure it out what the truth is, how to get there. They don't explain. They don't have the time to explain. They don't want to explain themselves. They just declare the truth. You'll get to know. You'll get to know the style very soon. Now, as Hariji passingly mentioned, the word Upanishad is broken up into 3 words. Upanishad. Upa means near. Upa means you're sitting very near a guru or a teacher. When you sit near a teacher, unlike today, you're all far away, very far away, as far away as some of you in Malaysia, some of you in Hong Kong, some of you in the city, but very far. What, Harish? You are the furthermost. I think few of them from US also are there, very far from here. So how can I teach Upanishad when you are violating the very first principle, Harish? Tell me.
Well, under
disqualified. Harish, disqualified, Harish.
With COVID, you still can't sit near Guruji. With COVID, how to sit near Guruji?
They would excuse you. Yes, Harish.
No, Hariam Guruji. Under present circumstances, with Zoom technology, we surrender. We all surrender to you for all the teachings in spirit.
No, I certainly understand and I relate to it. I'm just trying to convey the word upa. Upa means near. When you are near to someone, it creates a certain receptivity. Your receptacles are very well tuned in. You're very receptive to the text. It is very important that you are receptive. Ni is you sit below the teacher. A teacher is always seated at a higher pedestal. A guru is put at a higher pedestal. So when you sit below a guru, it creates a certain amount of devotion. So upa, near means you're receptive. Ni, below means you're devoted. Sit means you're introverted. Upanishad, near, below, sit literature. So you must have the qualities of receptivity. You must have the qualities of devotion. You must have the qualities of introversion to be able to imbibe the deeper import of the Upanishads. Without this, it becomes very difficult for you to even understand what the Upanishads are teaching. So prerequisites. So the very word itself contains the necessary disciplines. Okay. Now, this Upanishad has got 4 chapters, 4 parts. The first chapter gives out the philosophy, and the style of the Shastras is they give out the highest message to the top caliber of students. So the story goes, the master is giving out his message in a group of 4, 5 students or 10 students, and he doesn't want to delay the students of different caliber. So those who are at the verge of realization, they want to cater to them first. So the highest truth is declared first. So much so the student would have heard the master a few verses, he would have got up and walked away because he's realized, oh, thank you, sir. So I can quit the class anytime I want. So your absence does not indicate that you've realized. Maybe it indicates your ignorance. But in the context here, the Upanishadic students, they of that caliber, so they vacated the first. The second chapter, he just explains himself, catering to those who didn't understand the first, what was said in the first chapter. Third part, he gives a fascinating story. Those of you who have read the Upanishad, you would know what the story is. But don't go to the third chapter and read the story. Huh? I know you all are interested in stories. When we get there, we will read the story. But don't read the story in advance. Then the maja will go. So he gives the story to those who didn't understand part 1 and part 2. And the fourth part, he gives certain disciplines, certain commandments. For the lowest caliber of students, he just gives certain commandments. Just do this. You can't think, just act, just follow this advice. Now, yes, it's interesting to note that the first part and the second part, he introduces the concept of nirguna upasana, which is formless worship of formless God. And the third and the fourth part, he talks about saguna, which is a God with a personal form, a name and a form. So that itself tells you of the caliber of the students and the way an Upanishad is structured, this Upanishad in particular. Okay. Now, as you would have noted, this text has two invocations. One is the standard invocation that we chant, and then there's a specific invocation from the Samaveda, which is where the Upanishad comes from. There's another invocation. So we'll just quickly run through both invocations, and if time permitting, we'll just get into the text. Okay. First invocation, please. Not this one, Ma, please. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sahana Vavatu. May he refers to the Lord, the Almighty. May he protect us both. Sahanau Bhunaktu. May he cause us to enjoy. Sahaviryam Karavavahai. May we strive together. Tejasvinava Avadhita Astu. May our study become brilliant. Tejasvi means brilliant. Avadhitam. Sorry, adhitam. Adhitam means the study. May our effort become brilliant. Ma Vidvishavahai. May we not hate each other. May we not get into a dispute or disagreement, become disputatious. This is actually the meaning of the invocation. We've been chanting every time we come into a class. So beautiful, isn't it? Now, an invocation is typically chanted by the teacher and the student. And the purpose of an invocation is it tunes your heart and the head. It calms your mind and sharpens your intellect. It also tunes in the student of an attitude to surrender and be devoted. May He protect us both. Seeking divine providence. We have launched on a program, embarked on a journey to understand the truth. May we be protected. May there be no harm to the Guru and me. May the Guru be provided for and I be provided for. Protect us. May He cause us both to enjoy. Enjoy what? Shantima, what do you enjoy?
Arium Guruji, enjoy the journey of the study.
Enjoy the very journey of the study.
The study. Yeah.
So the very journey becomes a
enjoyable, fun, interactive.
It becomes interactive. It becomes it doesn't become a boredom. It doesn't become a pain. It becomes a journey of unfoldment. So I enjoy, because when the Guru comes, he comes very hard at you. You know, a Guru is not, what's the job of a Guru?
Question, knock the student.
What is knock a student? What do you mean knock?
Knock means it's like wake him, the person.
Now you tell me, how should I wake you up virtually? How is that possible to knock? How is it possible
by
to
the
knock
teaching,
you?
Guruji, by the teaching.
I know a few just keep calling me now and then, and they say, Guruji, I need you to. In fact, yesterday, somebody called and she was in great distress because she lost a very near and dear. And she was asking me some question. And even before she sought that help, Guruji, it's like, imagine you have a long pole and you're knocking me from there. So please, I said, your impression of me is very bad. I said, and after my clarification to her, how many marks you give me for, she said, don't get angry at me, Guruji. You've explained this many times, but please don't get angry, but please, I want to know. I don't know who else to go to. Sanda Madri. But how? I do not know. A job of a Guru is not to comfort you. A job of a Guru is to, I don't know the right word for that. And Shiva, Ushama, one may will come to you. Solunga sir, Shiva.
Dislodge, wake you up. In fact, take you out of your comfort zone.
Correct. A job of a Guru is to dislodge you, take you out of your comfort zone. Almost short of unsettling you. No question of buffering and buttering your ego. Nothing doing. No. No such thing. Not that a guru has to be rude or disrespectful. It's not in that sense. It's just to pull you out of your
Slumber.
slumber. Sheer tamas. Correct. Yes, Ushama. I think for this class we'll differentiate. How do you differentiate? Because I'll let us Usha Kaundinyama also as Ushama. And how do we differentiate here? Ninga solungo, Usha.
Usha
M.
Suresh.
Usha Suresh, okay, right. Yes, ma.
No, the job of the guru is to unsettle you.
Yes, the job of the guru is to literally pull you up. But this, the entire journey happens, and since there is that atmosphere, you enjoy that, you accept that, you invite such intervention. You really invite such intervention because it is, if not a guru, who else? Yes, Hariji.
The guru gives shock therapy to the student.
Harishji, we might have to take this into consideration when we are constructing the the hall for the Wisdom Institute. We'll have some electrical connections to the chairs and have the buttons of the chair numbering to me. So when someone gives the wrong answer, I'll just press a button. Little shock would come. Is it possible, Harishji, to implement that technology?
Hari Om Guruji. Because we can even have equipment to control the intensity of the shock.
That you leave the knob to me. But I must have all the controls on the stage, choose the button and the knob, the little shock. Correct. So, but yet it all happens in such a spirit that there is no
with
dispute.
Absolute compassion and love, or absolute extreme love and compassion to the student.
A teacher has that. So it is never, you never misunderstand a guru in that sense, because the only intention a guru has is to uplift you. And the guru has to find ways and means to uplift you. And if be so through a cane, he will use a cane. It has to be. But the effort, may he cause us to it. So the teacher should enjoy the process of teaching. The student must enjoy the process of learning. It has to be a collective effort. May we strive together. What do you mean strive together? The teacher comes with all that study. He has put in all that necessary preparation to be able to see how he can best communicate this knowledge to the student. And the student comes fully prepared to understand the text. He is not left any stone unturned for his abhyasa. Whatever study a student to do, it's all done. He does his sadhana, his study, his reflection. And the guru knows who does and who doesn't. It all depends on the question you ask. The way you ask the question itself, the teacher would know whether the student has put in any effort. I remember in the ashram days, when some students used to ask questions, I remember Swami used to say, you think and come back. I will not answer the question. And later on, he used to clarify and say, you have not spent any time in trying to understand the question. And you will get that clarity in the way the student asks the question in the Upanishad. You will understand how well prepared they were with the fundamentals to even they approach with all the homework they have done. So may we strive together and then seeking, may our study become brilliant. Study become brilliant. Tejasvinava adhitamastu. May we both. Usha, continue, ma. What do you say? May we study become brilliant.
And Namaste Guruji. That is, get the knowledge, extra knowledge, or the higher knowledge we are seeking. I mean, let it enter my mind, or let it enter our minds.
Let it
It should be
transform
clear.
us.
It should.
Correct.
I should be able to understand it.
Correct. Not just understanding, it should transform, isn't it? Let there be wisdom. Let there be the fruit of the effort is to gain moksha. So the Guru is wanting to give this knowledge to help you attain moksha. And in the sheer exercise of this transaction, the Guru himself evolves. So it's a process. I help you, you help me. The fact that we are attempting even to study the Upanishad is thanks to you all. I can't be sitting in front of a mirror and talking to myself. I need an audience. So to that extent, I bow down to each one of you who have given an opportunity to study the text so that I evolve, I help you evolve, you help me evolve. That kind of a prayer invokes that divine blessing. May our study become brilliant, and there's no question of any dispute, but still a Guru doesn't take any chances, and we tell to each other, may we not come into an egoistic view or argument or opinion. Ma vidvishavahai. And then the text, every invocation concludes with Shanti, and 3 times Shanti is said. The first Shanti is said aloud, Shanti. The second Shanti is actually the mediocre, Shanti. The third Shanti is almost in mental whispers, Shanti. So the 3 Shanti is chanted to alert or to seek support from the 3 sources of possible disturbances. The first is the Adi Daivika, which is the cosmic disturbances. And the second is the Adi Bhautika, which is the external. The third disturbance, Adhyatmika, which is the internal disturbances. So Adi Daivika, Adi Bhautika, Adhyatmika. So the cosmic disturbances referring to, they all were sitting under a tree, they were exposed to nature. There could be a downpour, there could be thunder, lightning, there could be anything out there which could disturb that auspicious moment between him and the Guru. So there is a prayer, Shanti. We've embarked on something so auspicious. Do not disturb, Shanti. Nothing will disturb me. I appeal to them to hold on. Second Shanti is at the mediocre level. The Adi Bhautika, external, refers to perhaps all the they were exposed to nature, as I've said. So perhaps they are wild animals. There could be, snakes, scorpions, all sorts of things, wild cats. So just to say, Shanti, man, don't come and eat me while I'm meditating or studying. Please don't disturb me. In the modern sense, what is the Adi Bhautika? Modern sense? Correct. Shiva, correct. Again, Tripi, come Shingo ellarkume. Correct. That is the modern Rakshasa. The serpent, correct. With a lot of poison. So you got to, don't allow yourself to be disturbed. Whatever it be. Adhyatmika is the internal disturbances. You could have something bothering you, you could have some attachment, whatever, all the internal disturbances. All right, okay, let's chant the second invocation. We'll just chant it once, okay? Om Apyayantu mamangani vak pranashchakshushrotramato balamindriyani cha sarvani sarvam brahma upanishadam maham brahma nirakuryam mama brahma nirakarod Anirakaranamastva nirakaranam me astu tadatmani nirateya upanishadsu dharma ste mayi santu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Again, as I've said, the Upanishads, they're all invocation. Everything starts with Om. Om is the highest symbol of Brahman. First he says, Apyayantu mamangani vak prana chakshush shrotram balamindriyani cha sarvani. May my limbs, speech, prana, eye, ear, and all my senses gain in vigor, gain in strength. Let there not be disease and decay. Let there be strength in my limbs, in my eyes, ears, senses, prana, speech. Why? Why is he saying that? Let there be vitality. Still, let's have the verse again, please, ma. Let there be vitality. Let there be strength. It's interesting why he says that. And then he says, all is the Brahman of the Upanishads. Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam. Everything in the Upanishads is nothing but Brahman. They don't talk, they're not interested. The subject matter is only Brahman. May I never deny Brahman. Maham Nirakuryam. May Brahman not deny me. May there be no denial of Brahman. May there be no denial of Brahman. There is no typo error. It is said twice. Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Mama Brahma Nirakarod Anirakaranamastva Nirakaranam Me Astu. Repeat it twice. May the virtues of the Upanishads repose in me. Upanishatsu dharma. Dharma, virtue. Te mayi, in me. May the virtues of the Upanishads repose in me. Being devoted to that Atman, may they repose in me. Dharmas, te mayi santu, te mayi santu. If you chant it with that feel, I tell you, it is very invigorating. Take a note. In fact, get a by heart of all these verses. This chanting is, it can be little tongue twister, it could be demanding, but keep chanting. I hope you all have got that little chant which would help you to just by heart a little practice of it. Okay, ma. So limbs be strong. Why is it saying, Amitama? Why is he saying, may my limbs be strong?
I guess for the mind to be prepared to receive at the feet of the Guru, physically we need to be active. We need to be full of life and energy.
Any other attempt? Second chance you're getting. I usually don't give chances. You got to think afresh. Why is he saying, may our limbs, speech, prana, eyes, ears, everything must be bristling with energy and vitality and strength?
To be active, to receive, to serve, to be in the right mode and frame of reference, to be in that journey with the Guru.
Okay, now I'll take that word. I'll take that one word from that. I'll not say that word, but I want to hear from Harish. Why is he talking of keeping limbs strong?
From my understanding, Guruji, to keep your limbs strong is to basically be is basically fundamental to the health of your body. And if you are healthy, then you can do service as well. You can serve your Guru properly and correctly and serve yourself throughout the journey. So it's to keep yourself healthy in that aspect, to serve both you and yourself and the Guru.
Okay. Not wrong. You're right. It is, the body is just a vehicle. The body must be kept in good repair so that it serves you in the long spiritual journey. The body shouldn't become a hindrance of your sadhana. The body shouldn't become an impediment. So you are keeping your limbs strong. It's just a vehicle. You are going a long journey. Don't you ensure the vehicle is serviced? The tire pressure is there. There's enough fuel. Everything is in good repair. So it serves you the journey. Similarly, the body must, so exercise. You need to keep your body fit, not worshipping the body. Sir, if you indulge in the body, if you use the body as an avenue for indulgence, it becomes tamasic. Disregard the body, rather, let's say disregard the body. Rajas is, you worship the body. Now, tamas and rajas are, Gayatri Ma, tamas and rajas are, you're indulging in the body, you're worshipping the body. What does it end up? These both are?
More desires, and we get into the world more, extrovert.
Extrovert. In fact, you're using the body as an end in itself. But sattva is to use the body as a means to that end, isn't it? Body, so to that extent, body has to be kept in good repair so that you're in that journey. So sweet of Harish ji, you know, he's all decked up in his cycle gear. So very soon he's going to be on his bicycle. He's going to go off for a long ride. Why, Harish ji? So that it serves you well in all what you want to achieve, isn't it? Hopefully, I'll also put on my gear and go for a game if the game is on. Why? Not just to get lost in that game, not less to get lost in that activity, but to understand I need to keep my body fit and active in whatever way you want to do it so that it serves me in my spiritual journey. So keep your limbs strong. You can be going into the gym, you could be going for a walk, you could be doing stretching, you could be doing yoga, you can be playing a game, you could be doing pranayama, you could be doing anything out there, but not to worship the body, not body worship. Not going into the body shop and pampering the body from head to toe. You may go to the body shop and get what required, but understand is not to worship the body, but to understand the body as a means to an end. Yes, ma. Please do that, Padmini ma. Padmini ma is saying she's going to go into the kitchen. Yes, Hariji.
The third Shanti, Om Shanti, 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 the Adhyatmikam. And we have to keep our body and mind fit so that the third Shanti become valid. If I have a weak limbs, then the third Shanti becomes difficult, Adhyatmikam, because it will be getting, I will get disturbed.
Correct. Very true. The Adhyatmika, refers to keeping oneself fit and sound. We'll come back to the text just about time. But I just want to chant the invocation once more. Okay. All of you try to chant along with me. I will try to chant a little slowly so you can get to follow the words. Okay. Om Apyayantu mamangani va pranashchakshusro tramato balamindriyani cha sarvani sarvam brahma upanishadam maham brahma nirakuryam mama brahma nirakarod Anirakaranamastva nirakaranam me astu tadatmani nirateya upanishadsu dharma ste mayi santu Om Shanti 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 Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha Hari Om